The small town criers chilling with the village idiots. Big city slickers are still busy building pyramids. Got a diploma, but no wall to hang it. Tags on the bathroom stall that make me famous. A job description that don't fit the bill. A fatal femme fatale dressed to kill.
Isn't it funny how animals, when left to their own devices, kind of know how to take care of themselves? They intuitively will go and lay out in the sunshine whenever it's available. Ah, feels so good. So I'm out here, it's been like 3 weeks of just constant rain in the rainy season here in the Andes of Ecuador. And I feel totally deficient in the most important nutrient that any of us can consume. And that's full spectrum sunlight. And I'm finally getting some, I love it. So the question of the day. Let's talk about the question of the day. I'm in ketosis, but I'm not losing weight, or I'm in ketosis and I'm still gaining weight. What the heck's going on here? So let's go back to the basics, guys. I know there's a lot of new viewers out there, a lot of individuals who are not that familiar with keto, and you've probably run into quite a bit of confusion, confounding, and just parroted, repeated disinformation out there. The popularity of keto has blasted off over the last year or so. And that's a good thing. It's getting the recognition it deserves. But with that recognition comes a lot of people just repeating ad nauseum shit that they heard or read on the internet that may or may not be correct. So, keto doesn't guarantee fat loss. The ketogenic diet doesn't guarantee that you're gonna lose weight. Now that might come as a surprise to some people, especially coming from someone who's been promoting keto for, I don't know, like 4 years now. 3 or 4 years on YouTube. But it's true. Ketosis does not guarantee fat loss. Now what ketosis does do is it makes it really easy to lose body fat. What, are you just playing word games here, dude? No, I'm not. But a lot of other people are. So here's how I'm gonna explain it. Ketosis is a state that we enter when we restrict carbohydrates. When we restrict carbohydrates, our body will burn fat for fuel. The absence of insulin and the presence of stable blood sugar allows us to consistently tap into our fat reserves. It allows us to consistently tap into the macronutrient that our body stores in abundance. You know what that macronutrient is? The main macronutrient that our body stores for a rainy day, like I've had 3 weeks of, is fat. The body stores that fat so we can burn it later on. And a lot of magic things happen when you start to burn that fat. You know where most of the stem cells in your body actually reside? Most of the stem cells in our body actually reside in our adipose tissue. So when we're burning our own body fat, we're getting incredible benefits. This is why fasting has been used as a therapeutic healing modality for thousands of years. Not just because it makes you lose fat, but there's a lot of other awesome things that happen when we burn our own body fat. Now, the benefits of ketosis are manifold and very, very impressive. But the benefits of burning your own body fat in ketosis are 10 times that of just burning a bunch of butter that you're eating. So you're not losing weight on ketosis. First of all, we gotta realize that ketosis doesn't automatically make us lose weight. Ketosis allows us to leverage a hormonal state and leverage a state of satiety and decreased hunger so that we're not so hungry, so that we naturally eat less. For this reason, a lot of people do keto. They start eating keto foods and they don't have to count calories. They don't have to count macros, a lot of them. A lot of people just end up restricting their calories naturally. But that's not everybody. Now me, I'm really lean right now. I don't have a whole bunch of body fat to lose. So for me to lose more body fat now, I've got to dial in my macros and be pretty tight with my regimen. That means I don't get to just eat unlimited fat to get super lean. I wish it was the case that I could just eat as much fat as I wanted because I love fatty, salty foods. Like all humans do, or should. I love fatty, salty foods. But I can't just eat them as much as I want and expect to lose weight. Now, keto allows us to burn fat for energy. That fat can be the fat that you eat or the fat that you stored on your body. And what determines that is the composition of the diet. So, if you're doing keto and you're eating 300 grams of fat, it's gonna make it much more difficult to burn body fat. You can't expect to lose 300 grams of body fat a day if we're putting 300 grams of body fat in our body to burn. Now, I'm not saying, oh, calories in, calories out. You just tell people to restrict calories and that's how they lose weight. That obviously doesn't work. It's never worked. Check out Ryder. Oh, Ryder's making a video too. Okay. Obviously telling people just restrict calories without giving them a modality, without giving them a framework to reduce their hunger and increase their satiety, it doesn't work. It hasn't worked for 40, 50 years. Big agriculture, big pharma have been raking in the dough because of this. Chronic disease, diabetes, chronic inflammation, cancer rates, all of these diseases have been skyrocketing. And of course, it's not just because of the diet. There's many environmental factors involved, including heavy metal toxicity, pesticide use that destroys our gut microbiome, causes inflammation, makes us want to eat more. There's many other reasons for the obesity epidemic besides just the macronutrient composition of our diet, but it is huge. The macronutrient composition of our diet can greatly affect our hunger levels. And that's where keto is kind of magical. Now, keto is not magic because it allows me to just eat as much keto food as I want and get super shredded and lean and look great. Keto is so magical to me because it makes my hunger low and my satiety high, and it makes it easier for me to eat less food and maintain the body composition I desire. So, keto doesn't negate the food quantity that we eat, right? It doesn't negate the fact that you're eating, 300 grams of fat. Eating 300 grams of fat won't allow us to burn effectively a lot of body fat. So when people are talking about you need to do 80% fat on keto, unfortunately, they're not correct. The macronutrient ratios are largely irrelevant. I can be in ketosis and eat 100% carbohydrate diet. What? Blasphemy! How can you say that, Tristan? Let me give you an example. What if, in some alternate universe, the only food I ate the entire day was one serving of spinach? That one serving of spinach, what if I ate 100 grams of spinach? That might have like, what, 3 or 4 grams of net carbohydrates, mostly fiber. I could eat 100 grams of spinach and that's all I eat for the rest of the day. Guarantee you I'll be in deep ketosis most of the day. In fact, probably still be in deep ketosis right after that meal because it's mostly indigestible fiber. So if all I ate was spinach, I could still be in ketosis all day. That's 100% carb diet. If I'm trying to maintain weight, if I'm trying to stay weight stable. Oh, Ryder's having a little breakdown. If I'm trying to be weight stable, I might be eating something around 120 grams of protein, which would be for me 0.8 grams per pound of my lean body mass. I might be eating about 120 grams of protein and probably about 180 grams of fat, depending on my energy exertion, depending on how much I'm moving or how active I am. Now, if I wanted to lose body fat, that actually probably is about 80% fat calorically. But if I wanted to lose body fat, my macros might look more like 120 grams of protein, 90 to 120 on protein, depending on how hungry I am that day. And then something like 120 grams of fat. But I'm still calorically gonna be burning 80% fat in the diet. You see what I'm getting at here? Now, if you look at some of the work from Volek and Finney, they're like the OG keto researchers, been researching ketogenic diets for decades. They say the same thing. The fat on your plate or the fat on your belly can make up that 80% fat in the diet. So, if you're not losing weight on ketosis, you gotta understand that keto doesn't make you lose weight in and of itself. The presence of ketones does not mean you're gonna lose fat. So you got all these multi-level marketing gurus, these douchebags trying to sell you little packets of powder, razzmatazz flavored, these little packets of powder, Keto OS, Prove It, all these whacked out companies, multi-level marketing companies, people with their little cult followings, marketing to you these things. Now, just because you eat this packet of ketones doesn't mean you're gonna lose body fat. You're putting an exogenous energy source in the body. So, keto doesn't make us lose weight automatically, but it makes it really easy for us to lose weight because it drops our hunger. Because it creates a situation where our hormones, where our insulin is low, where our blood sugar is steady and stable, and where we're just not getting hungry all the time. And that's the magic of keto. The magic is not that it negates the quantity of food that we eat. If I eat, 10 pounds of keto food every day for a month, I'm not gonna expect to lose 10 pounds of body fat. So there we go, guys. Keep it simple. Back to the basics is essential sometimes. There's a lot of misleading information out there. There's a lot of stuff out there that, ends up sending me a lot of clients. And unfortunately, sometimes I feel bad because sometimes it's so easy. Sometimes it's so easy to fix these situations where somebody is eating 250 grams of fat and they feel okay, but their digestion's a little weird because they're eating so much fat and they're forcing it down, and they're told that you have to eat 80% fat to lose weight, when it's like, some of these people could have just intuitively listened to what their body was saying and dropped their fat back when their hunger dropped because of ketosis, because ketosis drops hunger. It doesn't automatically drop body fat. So a lot of these clients that come to me, and I just end up telling them, hey, maybe we should have listened to your body all along. Maybe you didn't need to eat 280 grams of fat like the guru told you. Maybe, just maybe, keto doesn't negate the laws of physics. So, there it is, guys. Keto ain't magic in that it doesn't make it so we can eat as much food as we want and still lose weight. Keto is pretty magic in that it makes us less hungry, drops our inflammation levels. In fact, in a lot of people, including myself, it improves mood and cognition profoundly. And that's the awesomeness of keto, among with thousands of other benefits, anti-cancer benefits. The benefits are manifold, and they're incredible. So I'm not saying that keto isn't useful. I use keto on 98% of all the clients I work with. I love keto. My whole family eats keto food. We don't feed our kids keto, of course. We give them more carbohydrate, but they still eat our keto foods. So I'm not saying keto ain't great. What I am saying is that keto doesn't negate how much food you ate. Alright, later.
I'm a poor man's version of a